Introducing our speakers, ladies and gentlemen, my first speaker over here, a seasoned business professional. She leads the fund management business at the Rustomjee Group with over 17 years of experience in the real estate finance and development fund management industry. She oversees the overall acquisition and implementation of projects for the investee committee companies at Mount K Capital. Along this, she's also a managing committee member at CREDAI MCHI and finance convener at CREDAI. A big round of applause for founder and managing partner, Mount K Capital, Binitha Dalal ji. Thank you so much. Once again, pleasure to have you over here. We'll request you to take your seat over there. Yeah. Just a request, I believe we need to keep the seat in the middle for Yukti ji, so that's how we'll do it. So Yukti ji, you can take your seat in the middle when I'll introduce you. Thank you. But let me introduce you. Okay, aajao. As the director of Gulshan Group, she has been redefining luxury living by seamlessly integrating sustainability, wellness, and creating modern-day through driving communities. Ladies and gentlemen, the director of Gulshan Group, properly, zor se bajaiye tali for Yukti Nagpal. Thank you. My next speaker over here leads the marketing, communication, and brand strategy for one of India's most integrated destinations across culture, luxury retail, hospitality, conventions, and of course, live experiences. With over 26 years of experience across real estate, luxury brands, and enterprise technology, she has held leadership roles at organizations including Brookfield Properties, Brookfield India REIT, Oberoi Realty, and Mahindra. Ladies and gentlemen, a big thunderous round of applause for Chief Marketing Officer, Geo World Center, Reliance Industries Limited, Reema M. Kundnani ji, please. Thank you so much. Thank you. My next speaker over here, with over 25 years of experience across aviation, development, and commercial real estate, she's giving a strategic boost to the company's pan-India leasing capabilities and driving growth as Prestige prepares to cross the 40 million square feet of iconic office developments. Ladies and gentlemen, the VP Business Development and Leasing Office 2.0 India Prestige Group. Please clap it up for Incia, Bagasrawala, Gupte. Thank you so much, Ms. Gupte. Incia Gupte, okay, thank you. That helps. And on that note, I'm gonna be now moving to my next speaker, ladies and gentlemen. My next speaker leads the outreach initiatives at Embassy Group, driven by a strong belief that strengthening education and health infrastructure is the key to nation building. Embassy's programs focus on holistic child development through education, healthcare, skill development, career guidance, and pathways to employment. Ladies and gentlemen, please clap it up for the head Community Outreach Embassy Group, Shaina Ganpathy ji, please. Thank you so much, Ms. Ganpathy, for joining us over here. Stage is set. Panel is ready. Like we always do, a consolidated round of applause for all the panel members. And on that note, sir, request you to please take it forward. Shukriya.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, post-lunch. But in that way, I think the Realty Plus guys have been smart to have this panel post-lunch. I don't think anybody is going to need tea and coffee for this panel at all. One round of applause for this audience, please. So, when Sapna approached me to moderate this session, and incidentally, I'm doing this for the first time as moderator because I've always been on the other side answering questions. I was thinking about this whole concept, woman icon and women in real estate. And I went back 3 decades. And when I joined real estate myself or entered real estate, I had the same question at that time. That why I don't see women in real estate. I'm talking 30 years ago. And the answer was pretty obvious in a few months, that in the good old days, real estate was all about approvals. So basically, you have a partner in the government and you have to spend most of the time. So I got the answer. That why women are not there in the real estate. But then this whole journey of real estate, in my eyes, I've seen, my experience, how it is corporatized, and it's just getting more and more corporatized and moving towards, as I've been saying in my speeches, towards an FMCG sector. It's becoming very close to FMCG. And definitely that's why I'm today having the privilege of sitting with the women icons, some of them here, on stage. Can you all give them a big round of applause, please? And I think going forward, in the future, at least I believe, we won't have this panel again. The reason being that it will be neutral, right? Why are we saying women in real estate? It will be neutral. Whether it is a man or a woman, they will all be on the panel talking about a subject. And that's the reason why today's panel discussion, I divided into 3 parts. Kal, Aaj or Kal. So with this, ladies, shall we start? Yes. So in the Kal, I'm sure everybody is expecting this question. And I want to keep it to the Kal only. Because I don't want the whole session to be why women, why women, why women. As I said, it is all in the Kal. From today onwards, I don't think there is really a distinction. So in the Kal, which is the past, the question which all of you are expecting is what I'm going to ask all of you. And I'll start with Yukti. And then we can go around in a line. That, as I said, real estate has been, everybody acknowledged, a male-dominated sector. So what inspired you guys to enter this sector is my first question. And second, I'm pretty sure that when you all enter the sector, even Yukti, you are the daughter of a promoter. But still, at the end of the day, when you're working, there will be some people talking behind or something. You would have got some sense that why she's around. So if you can share some of your initial days and if it's examples that did you all feel uncomfortable or people felt, that why are you here?
Sure, I'm going to take your second question first because let's get over the Kal first. Yes, definitely it has been a male-dominated industry and largely it still remains at many fronts. Yes, women are more leading from the front nowadays, but you see a lot of back-end is still handled. These licensing that you talk about, why less women are in real estate, most of them are now even governed by men. So, uska reason kya hai, jo maine bhi feel kiya tha, is that it's not really the industry at large, but even customers contribute to this distinction. I have experienced many customers that are more comfortable discussing numbers with a man than with a woman. I feel many customers get surprised when I answer them better than my male counterparts because it is unexpected. You don't expect the woman to be the smartest person in the room, and that is just the conditioning that India has brought up with. I wouldn't say this is a real estate specific problem. So yes, there were many incidents like that, where your HODs would be like, kya keh rahi hai yaar, abhi to aaye. I mean, come on. Where somebody new, a new vendor would approach and he would be much comfortable talking to my junior just because of his gender. So, but then I realized that ये तो हर ही sector में है ना, उसमें it's not going to change. So, you can only beat that with knowledge, with consistency, and with not crying every time this happens. You have to build the thick skin and you have to know that this is a problem and eventually you will overpass it. Now I'll take your first question, why I was inspired to be in real estate. I'll start with a quote from a very favorite movie of mine, P.S. I Love You. It stays, my goal is to create. The beauty of thinking something, having a thought, drawing it on the paper and seeing it come to life. That whole journey, and I have goosebumps while talking about it.
Oh,
that
very
is
well
why
said.
I
Very
entered
well said.
real estate. Yeah. I saw my father doing it all his life, and I love creating. And if not in real estate, I'd be creating something else. But I got a wonderful platform, and I thought, why not? Let's shape the skyline of India. And that's why I'm in real estate, in a male-dominated industry, making my mark.
Oh, well said. Well said.
Same question? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I think I don't need to repeat everything she said. She's touched certain.
But you can
very,
give some
very important-
examples.
Yeah. But I think for me personally, why did I choose to be in real estate? It happened by accident. But once I got into the embassy group, I realized there was a very young team setting off to create something that the city had never attempted before. So we were getting into the luxury real estate segment, and we're also trying to be commercially building small standalone commercial buildings. And we decided that with a, obviously it was a family-run business at that time. A small group of, close-knit women joined the group. Everybody knew everybody. We had gone to college together, and we all used to address our chairman as Bhaiya at that time because we knew him socially. So at that time, we believed in the vision, and I don't think we realized we were girls or boys working together. It was just a lot of good work happening, benchmarks being set in Bangalore, and just representing a leader who had a vision at that time. And we were trying to create something, and like you rightly said, we were in a phase where we were trying to benchmark stuff in the city, and the thrill of doing that, and to be known as that one builder who could really set the standard for the city was a thrill for me. I don't remember being sidelined because I'm a girl, but I do remember a lot of people from all over the world who came to buy these fancy Duplay, marble flooring. Everything was new at that time in Bangalore. So all these great businessmen from around the world wanting to deal with the girls in the office because we really had their backs. We would design their homes, get them tenants, keep a great relationship with them. And it's a highly relationship-based business. And I think the girls in the team did a great job of making that relationship work. And that brought us more business as well. So I don't see any oppression or anything dramatic, at least in my experience.
What I liked about your answer is that you repeatedly spoke about your leader, who is Jeetu Virwani, who happens to be my junior in school, 2 years. So I liked it.
Thanks so much. Very interesting question, Khushru. But before that, I want to take a moment to thank Realty Plus for having this summit. So thank you, Anurag, Sapna, Tripti, and the entire team, and for having an esteemed panel like this that Khushru talked about. My story is very different from everyone else sitting on this panel, barring maybe Binitha. I don't come from real estate. I'm a computer engineer. I spent the first 11 years of my career in tech. I didn't choose real estate chose me. It's been 17 years, I've continued to stay. And welcomed, embraced by an industry that has given me so much. If I take a step back on what inspired me to stay, because I talked about the fact that I didn't choose the industry, what inspired me to stay is fairly simple, right? In India, we say roti, kapada, makan. If you think about it, an average Indian writes the largest check of his life to buy a home. That continues to be true kal, continues to be true aaj as well, and I'm sure it will continue to be true with the way the real estate land prices are going kal as well. So the power of just being able to create value to that decision in a consumer's life for which he or she is having his entire life savings made me stay. The warmth of the industry, the fact that I was the only woman in rooms, but that has changed today, has made me stay. Spaces impact people's lives in bigger ways than we imagine, whether it is places we live in, we work in, we shop in, we dine in, or we have fun in. Spaces impact us in bigger ways, and just the opportunity of being able to play a small role in shaping the way people think about spaces was what made me stay in this industry. Thank you.
Oh. So Reema, one thing is very clear. You know, in the good old days, real estate developers used to think that tech is different and real estate is different. Now, without tech, you can't do real estate. So your life is sorted.
I hope so.
Incia.
Thank you so much. First of all, I'll congratulate everyone for a setup like this. I was here last year as well, and it's amazing. Thank you, Sapna, Anurag, everyone, to having this panel. With regards to the question, I endorse all three of them. Yes, my story has been slightly different. I'll start with Kal. Again, landed up into real estate absolutely by accident. I don't know whether real estate chose me or not, but I definitely chose real estate. Yes, it was a complete land in wherein I didn't know what I was doing in life, but I came from aviation and it was a complete different story. Having said that, it was very different when I joined back 16 years ago. Uh, I think I was the only one on the floor who was a lady. And I don't know acceptance, but it seemed different because it definitely seemed different. And specifically, if I would dress up like this and go, they would think I've come for a ramp walk. And I would be like, okay, I do have a mind till I open my speech if I had to. But eventually, it changed a lot. In the last at least 10 years, I have seen it change substantially. A lot of inclusiveness, a lot of acceptance, a lot of intelligence. And moreover, this intelligence was supported by emotional quotient, which I think we add to the table. And I think that's a very, very primary factor. I'm not saying men and women are equal or not, they are definitely, but we do have certain strengths and we do complement each other.
Okay, thank you. Last but not the least, Binitha.
So I think you are.
Give some good examples now of how people ill-treated you. I'm not getting that spark from anybody. All are being very nice. Yeah. For the audience, it's post-lunch.
No, I think firstly, the fact that they're the power-packed women of Realty Plus who are organizing this event. for
Absolutely
so many
right. I think
years.
big round of applause to them.
For so many years
Yeah.
in succession and making it a landmark session year on year is the biggest difference that the sector has seen. And for me, I think my life has been something where I wanted to do something different than ordinary. And I probably, all throughout when I grew up, my parents, my family, no one distinguished me for my gender. I don't think I ever had a situation where someone told me that you're a girl, your job is to get married, have kids, and take care of the house. Conceptually, that never was something that was given to me. I think I'm lucky that I had that freedom, that I had a mind of my own. At some point in time, I think I was. You want to hear a gossip story? I'll tell you a gossip story.
All of us. Don't look at me only.
So I was like, I'll tell you, I actually wanted to get into education. And I just told you this story after you knowing my Kal Aaj
Yeah, we
Aur
can
Kal
swap.
for so many years. So they were going to get me into school. And I was like 3 years old. I went to Bombay Scottish. Bombay Scottish that time was the Ambani. And
Absolutely.
it had a headmaster, which was called Father David, who probably was known to put all the star kids on their knees if they were late. At my interview, I told him I don't like him. I'm not going to answer his questions. And I just don't want to be here. And I told him that please give me chocolate, which is in your drawer, and then I will think about it. And I still didn't answer his questions, but he gave me my admission.
Are you telling me that next question you won't answer unless I give you a chocolate?
Good idea. But I think what it spoke about is that in my entire life, I've been someone who had a mind of my own. And for me, real estate was very different when I joined. I still remember I was like 8 or 9 years when Rustomji started. So I've seen real estate ground up. And I saw it from the perspective that it was the hardest in terms of cycles. Like when 1996, when Rustomji really started, it was the down cycle of the first depression. And I have been able to see the cycle and construction process of real estate, and I just fell in love with it. If you ask me today, the fact that this industry is a surviving industry from the Stone Age to the modern age, to the cult, to the arch, to the future, now with someone wanting to build homes in Mars, if you look back and see all our memories, it is in homes. Your childhood is in your granny's home, your grandpa's home, in a place where you feel safe. Even birds build homes.
Oh.
You have like caves, you have tree houses, you have Stone Age. Everything was about a home and the sense of protection around it. This is the only industry which is passing a legacy of protection. And for me,
that concept of building iconic structures which will be there for centuries and someone can look back at it is something that really kept me alive. And I used to love construction sites. I still love construction sites. It is my playground where I feel empowered because I can see the hustle, bustle, you know, those workers who are like the best people on this earth to have a conversation and have chai with. They are like, that used to be my high. Even today, if I have a down day, I go to a construction site, I walk around it, I go to the slab, I go to the top of the slab, I see things, and I feel, yes, life is still normal. That was my pull to have it. And then, you know, I always, so Steve Jobs is someone that we all grew up idolizing because of the person that is. And he's the only person who always went and said that you should leave a dent on this universe. And that for me is real estate because it is literally leaving a dent on every facet of our lives and this universe by every structure we make. And as far as the concept of me being a girl, I think it's about your approach in a room. If you walk into a room and feel I'm a girl, I'm not at par, I'm not equal, you get typecasted that way. And I never had that in my mind. Did I get backlash? In spite of being on construction sites and being looked at, ke, how are you still here? Gir jayega, kuch helmet pehno, don't be here, garmi hai, you know. I got that, that was standard. But I did get backlash in the financial sector. Can you believe it?
No, this is news to me.
I thought that there were only women, that real estate was a male-driven you know, sector, but the financial sector is also very heavy male-driven. And I used to work with bankers like at the lowest level because I believe that if you can make friends from the lowest you know, grade of a bank, like the analyst, all the way, you know, to the top, you'll always have the ability to feel one with the institution's thought process. And thankfully, banks had women in senior positions much earlier than real estate. So my AGM and DGM was a classic comparison where my DGM was a woman, the AGM was a man. He refused to talk to me at all throughout. And my proposals were getting stuck. So finally, I put my foot down and I said, see, listen, you have a problem with me as a woman. So I went to the next line and I said, please move him. Otherwise, as a woman, I'm feeling disrespected. Oh. And that person got changed. So that for me was my first actual step of empowerment where I felt that it doesn't matter what your gender is, it doesn't matter what the other person is, it's about getting your work done. And
Well said.
that
Well said.
is always important.
Well said. So really, I think of 2-3 things I totally agree. I think it resonates with all of us in real estate. One is that we as developers build cities, so which is true, what you said. The other thing, I think all of you all alluded to it, you said it, and which I've been always saying many times, that it's the only probably asset class where you see appreciation and you actually enjoy it also, right? You enjoy a car, but you can't see appreciation, as an example. So this is the only asset class which actually appreciates and you still enjoy it also, right? Okay, so having said that, I would say that let's give a big round of applause to the ladies for the cull. The reason being that while they are all smiling, we all smile. Let's admit that it's still a very difficult industry to be in. It is. So they have not only survived and they have thrived.
But I would like to add something to that. We've done the bad incidents. Let's talk about why we have been able to survive also. You know, there's a very famous saying that behind every successful man, there's a woman. I believe, and I've personally experienced, that behind every successful woman, there's not one, but an army of men who are supporting her throughout, left, right, and center, and telling her every day that you go, we are there behind you.
Great.
So the day men step up, more women will be
Great,
empowered.
great. Srini, you're not clapping here.
He's supposed to be Maroon CT.
Yeah, what happened? I'm learning. Okay, so let's go to the next section, which is today, Aaj. Okay, and let's get more specific because, frankly, we have a very diverse panel today, and in different parts of real estate. So it really gives us all the nuances of real estate bit by bit. So I'll start with you, Binitha. So from whatever I've seen of you, you said construction, you have been there, yes, you've been there in this industry for 18 years. And I met you in 2008, where you were on the borrowing side.
Yes.
And I didn't treat you that way, by the way, though you said that.
Of course not.
And on the contrary, the lenders were afraid of you. Huh? I must share that with you. So having said that, in the last few years, you have been one of the most successful, and among the very few, let me be honest, there have been very few real estate funds who have been successful. Giving money is very easy, taking back is very difficult, needless to say. And you have been one of the successful ones. Now I hear that you are also getting into a much bigger fund. So my questions to you are three questions. Number one, how was the transition from the borrowing side, construction side, to being as a lender? I have myself done it. I was a managing director of Piramal Realty, moved to becoming a managing director of Piramal Capital. So you have done exactly that. Number two, talk to us, since the audience is there, and I can't leave you without you sharing with us about your new fund. And someone in the corridor also told me that you are going to come up with something on PropTech.
Yes.
So can I ask you all these three questions? Can you share with us?
You can ask me everything. So I think my journey actually started from the want of building a university, like I told you. And I always knew that real estate was a part of a family circle, which I knew that would always take a prominence with me. But no one, will, if you are from the family and you join the family business, I can assure you that no one is really going to teach you with an open heart, not because of the fact that they don't want to, but because there's always that barrier of fear. She's a girl, why is she here? Kya hoga, hamara kya hoga types. So I actually went and joined TCS for 3 months after college. Then I went to Godrej Properties and I learned my basics in a corporate structure of real estate versus a privately managed and, I would say family-run kind of an organization to kind of get my basics. And then finally I joined Rustomji, and I joined Rustomji in the peak of the Lehman crisis, which was the financial crisis. I think we had days where I don't think we had enough money to pay salaries. I joined in operations, started with construction, design, acquisitions, all of that I kind of did it ground up. And finally, when the shit hit the roof, I realized that money is not looked at very importantly in real estate, because that time the currency used to be FSI. That was the money. Everyone was like, boss, mera FSI idhar badh gaya, ye regulation.
On Excel sheets.
On Excel sheets. And the Lehman crisis, ironically, was a real estate crisis on account of the mortgage valuations being mismatched. And it hit India in a way, I think, it was the best education that I could have got. My dad has always been someone who's told me that there's no education better than the University of Hard Knocks. And that only comes with live experience. And as a 21-year-old to get that experience, I think I am super thankful to everything that happened at that time in hindsight right now, even though it was like the toughest part of all our lives. But that really taught me the real essence of right lending and right underwriting and right structuring. Finance is probably the most abused word in real estate. I think people believe that it's a free flow of money. Le lo, वापस तो देना है नहीं. कर लेंगे जो कर लेने. FSI बढ़ेगा, किसी और को दे देंगे. हम चिपका देंगे किसी को, that kinds. And what happens is they don't understand that each stage of a construction cycle needs different kinds of monies.
True.
And it starts with crystallizing the acquisition the right way. And because being young and being curious and being someone who always had a mind, I used to always question everything. And I think that's why people got a little, on the other side, because they thought that she questions too much. And for me, it was only learning. And Lehman taught me everything. And the second thing that I am super thankful is State Bank of India. My foundation of finance and understanding finance is because the smallest analyst sat with me and I made a proposal from scratch. They are an institution that taught me how to look at real estate, underwriting, and how to look at risk, and how you should cover yourself against that. it took us a fairly long amount of time to recover from Lehman. And I think for me, each part of underwriting and exits from projects and taking money, restructuring it, moving it on the right side, finding the right mix of money is what propelled me to move to the finance side. Because after we came out of Lehman, I was very clear that this is something that I want to do. Because you don't just have the ability to underwrite the risk right, but also live it with the eyes of a developer. And that is why we built Mount K. We started in peak COVID after we brought Kapital into the business of Rustomji as a partner. That's a transaction also you remember, it took the life out of me. Probably India's first ever real estate, pure equity residential platform that happened. And that's when I said, this is what I want to do now. And we started building Mount K. The thesis of Mount K is that I love food, like you know this also. I love food and I love the concept of how perfect it is made. And it is made like that because of a chef. You can go to the best restaurant in the world and you would want to open a Michelin restaurant in the world. But if you don't have the person who's going to make that kind of food for you, you'll never get a Michelin star. The same way, you can keep lending all your life. But if you don't understand what needs to be done when shit hits the roof, and you don't understand how a project will get completed, you will always have a slight disadvantage in your underwriting. And I wanted to take that and actually go to the world and partner with my friends so that I can ensure that they never go through what I went through in Lehman. And I got inspired by what you used to always say, because you always said that lending is relationship and partnership. The best developer in the best location with a shitty product is always going to fail. And for me, using how I have been groomed to help my friends in the industry to always, fly high was the high that I wanted, and that's why we built the first fund. I think we were extremely blessed. We got State Bank of India to come in the fund as an anchor. We got ICICI banking cars. It was India's first ever developer-backed fund in equity in 2022, just after COVID. And everyone used to look at me and say, you're crazy. What is wrong with you? Why are you doing this? You have such a great thing. Just keep real estate. Why will a person, invest with you? It's not something that is done. And along with us, there were 3 other people, Neolive, Purvankara, and us. We got to our full fund size. We've got to an average return of upwards of 25%. We exited our first investment with a 3x multiple. I think as an organization and as a fund, we've built an ecosystem where we've been able to get the underwriting right with partnerships. And that's where we built the edge. And with that, to your second question, we went to Japan last year, just as casual cold call. Like I tell you, I have these crazy things that I keep doing. And I met Marubeni Corporation for the first time in April last year. To my good fortune, we brought them on board as a co-GP, and we built out a 4,500 crore fund.
Oh, that's huge.
Okay. And I did it because I was clear that it's the right time to now start looking at investments, because now the upside that will come in terms of growth in a segment which is not the luxury but the mid-market will actually propel this country and this industry. You've said this all the time, and all of you guys have also said that real estate is, we don't know the real number, but real estate is 7% direct and 40% upward indirect in terms of contribution to India's GDP. Just the other day, we were making a representation to RBI, and the steel industry was there, and they said that 25% of their order book is directly from RE. So the impact that we actually have as a sector is not really coming out in the open, and this small little capital is still not enough for what real estate needs. And that's what we went and built, and I am changing the game. I am changing the way lending happens, because I think expecting a developer to consistently give you a 20% upward return is a misnomer. The sector doesn't have it. The reality is, the only way you will make money is if you get the underwriting of debt and equity right. And we've partnered with our banking partner. So the total investable corpus that we're going to have in the industry is upward of 12,000 crores. And that's
Wow.
where,
I think all developers watching are hearing this.
and RBI has been very thankful. I'm thankful to them because they changed the regulation. Today, banks can't even invest with you unless you don't have RERA. So we come at the sweet spot where we will be able to hold your hand, start your asset, get to RERA, get you construction funding, and then you can just fly. Because I've always had that. I've had that from my banking partners. I've had that with the family. I've had that, like Yukti said, I've had a barrage of men, women, everyone standing by me and holding me so that I can consistently fly. And this is what I want for my friends now in the industry. And that's why we've built this platform.
And one line on
Consistently grow.
prop tech, only one line.
Prop tech, only one line, okay. We're doing prop tech. It's the best sector. It is going to change the industry. And, okay, I'll just tell. To look at tech differently, we've gone and partnered to do precast in India. We're building a precast plant in India. Government of Singapore is someone that I've always learned with. And Singapore has done precast better than anyone else. So we got Yonseng to partner to build a precast plant in India and build out precast in India with us because it is truly going to change the industry.
For sure.
And it is something which, if you get it right, and with Singapore's 3-decade history of precast, we're going to change a lot of things. And that's my tech venture. Apart from that, there's a tech fund, which we will kind of, continue on.
Okay. I think all developers are going to love listening to this, what she has said. 12,000 crores is not small at all, isn't it? I heard you. Okay, now we move to Incia. Incia, by the way, has done many things in life. Aviation, she just told me, which I didn't know, she used to run a salon also. Yeah. And then she entered real estate. Today, she is very actively involved, not only in the development, but also leasing in Prestige of all the commercial assets. So one fun question, one serious question. Fun question is that, as you can expect, which one you are enjoying more? Salon, aviation, or real estate? Second, a much more serious question for the benefit of everybody. Today, when I look at so much of commercial coming up, Prestige is doing a lot. I think in Mumbai also is building like crazy. Others are also doing. They're doing very well, all of them right now. But when I see now work from home coming back, partly, jobs getting lost by AI, Iran war is going to have an impact for a long, long time on the economy. Do you worry about this business or leasing going forward? Or you think that, things will be normal?
So, thank you. Amazing question. The second one is what I'll answer first. With Prestige being one of the developers with an absolute quality, product differentiator, I think what's important is, like everyone said, and specifically Reema mentioned, it's about space, right? And space not going anywhere. Like we always spoke, real estate and land is gold. And so it is, and it's only getting appreciated. It's only getting better. Having said that, if you are as, as prominent as Prestige in terms of building that quality real estate, I think it's only going to be there for legacies now. Having said that, again, with regards to how we are positioning ourselves with AI, how the integration is happening, how we're moving forward. One thing I observed very, very obviously, and I'll just give you a little bit of past here from when I joined India Bulls as a developer back about 16, 17 years ago. I personally thought it was a very, very dynamic company at that point of time because they created a landmark building on the commercial side, which is in Lower Parel, still standing tall. A lot of innovation was done at that time, making it as a flagship project, getting tenants. In a way, how do I say, marketing a position where the entire markets were changed. I mean, I still remember it was Lower Parel. a lot of FSI, a lot of calculation were done basis Andheri because it was IT, ITS, mill lands. Having said that, a lot of comparison from Andheri standpoint came into it, but at the same time, the positioning or the geography of the market was very, very different. And there was a lot of dynamics there, you know, how we positioned, how we got a 400 rupee rental first and then 250 rupees, then filled up the building. It was ever changing at that point of time. But whatever we did at that time was right for that time. From then, it moved to now Prestige. You know, of course, I worked in the IPCs in between, and it was another grilling session. But when I came to Prestige, I just realized, you know, the developers are very, very innovative. You know, they're just too humble to kind of go put out there saying, you know, we're changing the world, because they're extremely humble. They're very, very nimble. And, you know, last 2 days, Mr. Razak was in Bombay, and at 74, I still see him walk every slab, every construction site.
I'm not surprised
in this
at all.
heat.
Yeah.
And you're walking behind him and you're like, oh my God, can you please stop, you know? And we started at 8 in the morning, finished at about 8:30 in the evening. From that to project reviews to knowing every number on that slide, it's amazing. You know, you've done everything right and he'll catch the silliest mistake on that slide, and it's amazing how he does this at this age. So I think, you know, and the most important factor that where I saw is at this age, the nimbleness that he gets, the willingness to learn, the willingness to hear. He's always listening. He's rarely talking, but when he talks substance. And I think that's very important. So when it comes to coming back to AI integration, I think we're so nimble that it's only going to get better. Every day we're upskilling. I think every Monday morning, one thing we discuss, and you know Jaggi, right? He's as dynamic as possible, Jaggi Marwa. Every single Monday, it'll be spoken about how we're integrating AI, how we are using it in our daily life, and how we are upskilling ourselves. In my opinion, AI is only to help us and not to put us down. In my opinion, AI is not to take our jobs, but get our jobs better, upskill. Talent replacement is going to be in the right way. I think the deadwood always has to move, and that's an industry shift or a dynamic shift which happens with every innovation, and that's what it is. I think the more we integrate with it, the better for us. So that's about AI. Your first question on, and if you could...
What are you enjoying more?
What am I enjoying more out of the three? Can I have the leeway of saying each taught me very different things? I was 19 when I joined aviation, and it only taught me people, people, people. And I think no matter where I go in my life, even after 20 years, it's going to be people, people, people. Communicate, communicate, communicate. And I think that's the funda, whether you're in tech, whether you are in any capacity of industry or work, I think it's all about people. As long as you know how to communicate, as long as you know how to have those emotional quotient, nothing is changing. And it's all about, all the decision making in a boardroom happens with people, with emotions, whether we say it, we believe it, or we don't believe it. Excel sheets are there to present the facts, but yes. Having said that, that was aviation for me. I wish I could in future run a chain of salons, and that would be an ambition. But yes, that's something that will happen in future. So that was a passion, and real estate, I think, has taught me a lot. It's more importantly taught me how to unlearn more than to learn, and I think that's a very important factor.
Thank you. Reema, you are also in a very interesting sector or a segment, which is, you know, malls, mixed use, destinations. Again, it is not only the infrastructure in like in any other, you know, like a commercial, etc. This involves the emotions, the experiences of a customer. My question to you, I'll try to keep it different. Incia spoke about AI. Question to you would be, how is AI changing the way now the brands are also getting built, and the way the brands are also, you know, trying to be successful with AI? Second is something unique, and I don't know whether it's true, I heard about you, that you try to wean or intervene storytelling into your business, which is very interesting. So can you talk about that?
Sure, thank you, and I appreciate that that you've done your research and talked about storytelling. So I'm going to take the second question first. I think storytelling is a very human truth. It's just that in the world today, where attention is the new currency, stories are the only ones that are here to last. You know, you won't believe this, but chief storytelling officers is an actual designation. Anthropic has actually issued a job role for that, which basically means when attention is the deficit, the only thing that the consumer of today and tomorrow is going to remember is what is your story, what is your truth, and how authentically are you saying it. So stories are something that we've lived with as humans. When we were born, our mothers told us stories to put us to sleep. Our dadis told us, hamare zamane mein. So that hamara zamana is coming back, right? It's all, the world is round and everything goes round. So those stories that we grew up with and have been a hand-me-down from generation have now entered the boardroom. That's the only difference that I have seen in today's world. And people who tell better stories, I mean, we just heard Binitha's story of her journey and then the journey of Mount K Capital through that, right? So the way she narrated the story is what makes it authentic because she's lived that story, right? It's the power of what you want to say, how honestly and earnestly you want to say it, and how consistently that story stays back in the minds of the consumers. I'll give you a recent example from Bollywood. We love Bollywood, right? Every Bollywood movie or Indian film industry movie that was released in 2025 flopped. Durandar stayed, broke all records. It was 3 hours and 4.5 hours, 7.5 hours, unheard of stories, right? The reason it stayed is because that storytelling and the medium of which it was communicated was very powerful. So from Anthropic to movies, consumers get moved by great stories, and that's our truth that has always existed since Aad Jugad. We're just bringing it back into the boardroom today. And as far as AI goes, Khushru, I think, you know, I've said this, I'm extremely happy that AI is actually coming in. I'm one of those who believes that, you know, the Industrial Revolution came in and changed the way we started operating companies and countries and manufacturing and all of that. I look at the internet, I come in from the world where there was no internet to internet taking over, right? So I'm looking at AI personally as one of those things. And in a marketeer's life, if you're not, things that we did, which took months and months of crunching and data and analysis, are now getting done in seconds. Look at how much time, energy, effort you can save with AI. So if AI is used correctly, right, where you use AI and master it, adapt to the world with AI. If you look at Gen Z, they are AI natives. They are born in the world of AI. My daughter still thinks I'm really stupid when I use my phone and tech. I think I'm very ahead, but that's what she thinks. So I'm saying that's an AI native generation. And that's the generation that is entering the workforce. So if any of you are not using AI, my recommendation would be please download ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity for research, and Gemini. Start using it. I used it to put in the questions that you know, Khushru currently mentioned that real estate is FMCG. In real estate today employs about 70 million people in India. Out of that, 10% of people in the workforce are women. So that's a 10% representation. FMCG, on the contrary, has 30% representation of women in India. I used AI to answer that question while in a panel, of course to sound intelligent, but to also share data with an audience which has come here and is spending their time to be here. I couldn't have done this in the days of back home. So either you embrace AI or be left behind. But please remember, artificial intelligence cannot replace natural stupidity. So, so my thing to you is human insight, emotion, creativity is still belonging to the human. AI hasn't been able to replace that yet. I'm not sure. I don't know about the future because it's changing. So you blink and AI has changed. I don't know about the future, but thus far, let humans be the master of AI and use it for the betterment of the world.
No, I think I must admit that I asked you that question because I was quite intrigued that what is this storytelling. But to be very honest to you, Reema, I'm taking this back today. That you're absolutely right. Whenever we teach our kids also, we say, you know what, my grandfather used to tell me that. So storytelling in business should be introduced more and more. No, this is my personal takeaway. Thank you very much. Now we move to Shaina. You know, while all of us are talking of making money, doing this and, you know, increasing market cap, Shaina, being part of the embassy group, she was actually one of the founders of Stonehill School in Bangalore, which is part of embassy. And she's doing actually, which is very good for all our souls, actually, which is nation building in terms of education, in terms of healthcare infrastructure. Very, very important, which very few people even talk about. So Shaina, in fact, I would like to use this platform to ask you if you can tell us in little more detail what all you all do so that others can learn, and anything which you would suggest that what other corporates should be doing more in terms of CSR activities, etc., which helps build the nation.
Thank you. Thank you for the platform. We are, as you know, Embassy Group is headquartered in Bangalore, but we've recently made a foray into the residential business in Mumbai, and we've been here for some time with Blackstone as Embassy REIT in the commercial business. So what this meant for me personally was I was part of the Embassy Group since its very beginning, when Jitu began his business as a young developer in Bangalore, starting the residential business. So we've seen the company grow, and one thing that we were all conscious of is, create a sustainability policy within the group. And ESG came along, fortunately, and we were able to embrace ESG. And we decided very quickly that while we launched Embassy REIT, nurturing communities around everything that we build, a 10 to 12 kilometer radius was an obvious responsibility on the builder. So we decided to work with the Department of Education in every city that we currently operate in. And we work with government schools which are located in the vicinity of our tech parks or residential businesses. Being a developer, our first intervention is giving them infrastructure. So currently we've done about 33 government schools. We also maintain over 22 schools in every city when it comes to repairs, upgrades. And the nicest thing that I think that this initial engagement allowed us to do is to see gaps in the education piece as well. So when you spoke of nation building, I think one thing that really helped us understand this was if we could educate the poorest or help educate the poorest, we might be probably doing a bit for nation building. And so we started doing work with Pratham Foundation in foundation literacy and numeracy programs, where we go into every single government classroom and we bridge the children to grade level capability in mathematics, English, and the local language, hoping that they pass grade 10, and then you get them off to a start with choosing subjects in colleges and getting them scholarships and then basically out into the jobs. So we start pretty early. We start in Anganwadis and take them all the way into jobs. One of the key differentiators amongst, if you look at CSRs in India, is a lot of us work in silos. We do, we identify NGOs, we give them money, and off they go, and they do some great work. But because we started creating ecosystems in our tech parks, we realized that we had captive tenants who we had great relationships with, long-lasting relationships. So we started talking to them, and sure enough, over the last 8 years, we've had over 130 collaborative projects with our tenants alone, where we pool in resources and money and look at problem solving in geographies around where we are jointly located. This is unique. This is just common sense. And the governments, wherever we work, have encouraged us to share the story. What we had to do in the process is build a team. So the developer was forced to actually, create a team that not only services our needs, but also is a hand-holding partner to all our tenants. So we've been doing work in that area where employees of companies come and, spend time with engagement, and also we work with governments closely. So that's been, the model.
Oh, big round of.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope nobody's sleeping, gone to sleep. Yukti, needless to say, you come from a region, NCR, which went through the worst bloodshed in before COVID. And your company also, I know, went through difficult times. All kudos that you all came out and you all doing better and much better now.
Thank you.
They are one of the best. What I hear about Yukti is that wherever I talk about Yukti, they say that she has redefined luxury. Yukti has redefined luxury. And I think you got an award also for that.
Yes, I did.
Right? So I'm intrigued because I would like to learn, what is luxury according to you?
Incia said something very important, that every business is ultimately about people. Luxury to me is...
Louder, please.
Luxury to me is also about people and how people evolve in their day-to-day life. What luxury was 10 years ago may not be relevant today. So that evolution to fit your life, that evolution that takes place in your life, in your surroundings, that makes your life better, is luxury, I believe. So if I have to answer in one word, luxury to me is convenience, period. Nothing else. It's just convenience.
Excellent answer.
Wherever you can bring convenience in that ecosystem, in the way we live, in the way we buy, in the way we sell, in the way we interact, that is luxury. Don't we say that sleeping is a luxury for few during the days? Like, it's a luxury because it makes your life convenient.
Yeah, true.
So that is what luxury is to me, and that has been the center, the ethos around which I've tried to create whatever I've tried to create. You say that I have redefined luxury, whereas all I really did was put on the paper what suits my needs. That's just what I did, and my customers liked it, and they appreciated it, and they wanted to put their money with me. And that gave me the empowerment of doing exactly what I was doing. Build that around what I need. So we created self-sustaining islands. We created things that don't need you to step out of your complex. We wanted your house to feel fresher. We wanted your surroundings to feel cleaner. We wanted you not to, go for a retreat to be able to get sunbathing every day or get fresh water every day or get clean oxygen every day. These are the basic things we took care of. We basically took the focus away from the finishes and put it back into functionality. And that is what is luxury to me.
No, I think it's fantastic. I must share that in my journey, I personally know most of the top 3 developers of the country. And nobody has given me the answer which Yukti you gave. Really a fantastic answer.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we have run out of time, but we'll take 5-7 minutes more with the with ladies here.
They don't care.
Yeah, then coming to the future, I was going to ask you all on AI, but most of you all have answered it. But in one line, you all have the opportunity today to, if I were to ask you what is one advice each one of you give, and you all can just go around from Yukti onwards, to the next generation. It need not be a woman. It could be anybody. Entering this industry, what would you give?
Believe that with your consistency and knowledge, you will get ahead.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Consistency.
Shaina?
I think you need to always create value, and the foundation has to be a relationship, without which this industry may not really go very far.
Perfectly said. Relationship is the key.
It is. People.
Yes.
Be curious, be agile, and if you're from real estate, then as much as concrete and cement, stay close to the customer.
Oh, very nice.
Incia.
Absolutely. I think relationships, consistency is the key. Learning along the way is consistency. Sticking around is consistency.
Binitha. One line.
All of this, sorry?
Money, money. That's all.
Money always needs to make money, otherwise that's CSR. But no, I think for me, my foundation has been the Mahabharata. And that's something that I would have probably seen every day of my life. And the one thing that at all points of adversity or life that everyone has told me is be like Arjun. Focus on the eye of the fish and shoot for it.
Wow.
As long as you can do that, the world is your canvas.
I think you've heard me saying this many times.
I am your prodigy. I am following your footsteps.
Okay, and with the ladies on the panel, we cannot get up without a rapid fire round.
Oh God, I feel like Karan Johar's coffee.
Yes. Arre,
KJ's coffee.
how can we leave you all so fast? So quickly, I'll ask you, and quickly you'll have to answer. It's rapid fire. You can't think.
So starting with?
Starting with her.
Perfect.
Okay.
We can pass, right?
One word to describe today's home buyer.
Exposed, exploring.
Shaina,
Intentional.
Over-informed sometimes more than the sales team.
correct?
Still emotional.
Infused.
Okay. If you were not in RE, then where would you be?
I'd be a writer.
Shaina,
I'd be growing coffee.
Cross between storyteller and corporate therapist for women.
okay. Incia,
Scuba diving on an island.
wow. And you?
I would own a restaurant.
Yeah, you love food. Yeah, you love food. And let me now, before I ask this question, not the place where you all are in. Huh? So the one developer in India you admire.
Hiranandani.
Shaina.
Pass.
Come on, Jitu is not
I'm
that
gonna
bad. Huh?
Pass, she said.
Okay, fine.
I'm gonna take more than 1 minute to answer this question, right? So I'm gonna, sorry for breaking the rapid fire flow. 2 parts to this. My Harvard School of Real Estate happened with Oberoi Realty. I owe everything to that organization in terms of my learning and journey. But my PhD is actually happening at Geo World Center.
Absolutely, no doubt about that.
Because, you know, when you talk about Reliance, it's about nation building. So what's good for India is good for Reliance. And therefore, when Geo World Center was conceived as a crown jewel, right, it was conceived with just one vision. Let's get the best of India to the world and world to India. I want to ask the audience this question, that how many of you have visited Geo World Center?
We all know. It's
Do you feel a sense of pride when you walk
Absolutely.
into that space?
absolutely right.
That's all. That is the emotion and the story that Geo World Center is. It is a crown jewel for every Indian. And that's why I said my PhD is happening over here right now. So
Absolutely right. But Incia,
I think Hiranandani and definitely Prestige. I know you said not to mention, but
no
can't help
Rustam
it.
ji here.
Rustamji always, but I think how I have seen Irfan sir be as a person, that is what inspires me, because I have seen, you know, they always say in all times that if you can live up to your word, you're a man of your worth. And for me, that comes only with Irfan sir. I have seen people change in times. I have seen words change.
Okay, now you're breaking the rule like her. So it is,
disclaimer.
yeah. So that is prestige, you're saying.
Irfan sir.
Last 2 questions. Who's the one person with whom you want to have dinner with?
Oprah Winfrey.
Oprah Winfrey.
Shah Rukh Khan.
My wish will never be fulfilled. It is Steve Jobs, but maybe I'll have to go to heaven to meet him.
Incia.
Shah Rukh Khan only.
You? Shah Rukh Khan.
Warren Buffett.
Okay.
The money speaking.
Last question. A Bollywood character, listen to this carefully. A Bollywood character who reminds you of yourself.
Character or an actor?
Actor. Actor.
So I think I relate with Sushmita Sen a lot because she doesn't fit in the rule book of how one should live.
Oh,
their
that's a good
lives.
answer.
And she breaks stereotypes but does it with humility and gracefully. That's what I like.
It's a great answer, actually. Yeah.
I like Deepika Padukone.
Okay. Reema.
I'm going to go with character. I'm pretty much like Kabir Khan from Chak De at work when it is the 70 minute. And in my personal life, I'm like Geet from Jab We Met, where मैं अपनी favorite हूँ.
You ladies are watching a lot of movies, though, huh?
It's good. We grew up with
Yeah.
them.
Incia.
For me, it's Priyanka Chopra. I think she's done a fabulous job. She created a niche for herself when she was in trouble.
I'm going to go with Shah Rukh Khan.
Okay. So that brings us to the end of this session. A round of applause, please.
And I think a great round of applause for our moderator. It didn't seem like he moderated for the first time. KJ, your coffee with KJ was amazing.
I
Thank
actually
you.
want one question to you.
That's a good one.
I am a moderator
Make that
here.
all of us.
You've gone from developer to financer to back to developer. So your kal, your aaj, then again now your kal. For you, what would be the best learning and what is the next step?
I think the best learning is a very consistent that whatever you do, it's ultimately relationships. I think you said it. And I've seen this in my business. You also mentioned it. That ultimately, I said it recently in Bangalore also when Srini was interviewing me, that what went right in the worst times of the crisis of ILFS for me was the relationship. Because 9 out of the 10 developers didn't let me down. That was relationship. So whether you are in development or in, because again, it's a relationship with your customer, with your lender, everything. It's a relationship. You should not let anybody down. So, and what is the next step? Means you were to keep on enjoying your life. Yeah. And
I also want to call out that only a woman could do this, asking a moderator a question. Let me just state that as well on a panel. I've never seen this happen, Binitha, so kudos and
so you don't know
thanks for that.
Binitha that well. You are unnecessarily prompting me to say something which I will resist. Okay, you understood what I meant. Anyway, thank you everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think when conversations like these happen, it only makes the job of the host so easy. आपस में सब इतना अच्छे से बात कर रहे थे. I mean, like, amazing, right? Thank you so much. I'll request all of you to please remain on stage. What I'm going to do is I'm going to request Ms. Rekha Malan from Aris Uniturn to please kindly come up on stage and give the token of appreciation to all these incredible people over here. And once again, a big round of applause to Ms. Malan as well, please. And I'll request all of you to please remain inside the auditorium, as just immediately after this, we are beginning with another very interesting panel. So I'll request all of you to please remain inside and remain settled. Thank you so much. Yeah. As soon as this is done, we'll do a group photo. Now time for the group photos. You got to be there as well. And please, all of you kindly come forward. So that, Yeah, this is what we are also doing because it's a complete ladies panel. So we're ensuring that the moderators is in the center and the man of the spotlight.